Greetings and welcome to another Pokemon video. Now this video is different from what I normally upload, because it is not about the Pokemon anime, which is what my videos are almost always about. Instead, I will be talking about the Pokemon games for a change. More specifically, I am going to talk about the upcoming Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, since a new trailer for these games dropped today at the time of recording this video. This trailer revealed several new features, new characters, and new Pokemon, including the legendary Pokemon that will serve as the game mascots for the new games. All of this is of course very exciting, and this new trailer elevated the hype I have for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I am now looking forward to them more than ever, which is why I decided to make a video on the trailer. So let's get to the trailer now, shall we? Before I start, however, I do wanted to say that I will not go over the entire trailer, since there are a lot of moments in the trailer that are just a showcase of the graphics, the environment, etc. Meaning that they are basically giving us a sight-seeing tour of the new games. Some of these moments are also used simply to transition from one scene to the next. I will still comment on some of these moments, but instead of covering the entire trailer in detail, I will just focus on the parts of the trailer that reveal new information or that showcase something that is worth discussing. Now normally I would save the best for last, but in this video I want to start off with a bang. So I will start with what I think is the best part of the trailer, the new legendary Pokemon, which will be on the covers of the new games. I seriously think that these are some of the best designs I have ever seen on Pokemon. They both look incredibly cool. The moment I saw them, I knew that it would be difficult to choose which version I would buy, since I usually only buy just one version, and I almost always decide which one I will get based on which legendary Pokemon I like the best, which is something that will be difficult to determine with these two. Now the trailer does not reveal their names, but their names are still known since the Pokemon Company did reveal them. The red one, or rather the Scarlet one, is called Koraidon, while the purple one, or rather the violet one, is called Miraidon. Their colors of course match the version they are the mascot of. They are both reptilian in appearance, with Koraidon looking like a giant salamander or iguana or Komodo dragon that stands on two legs. It does have some feathers, horns, etc. that make it look very regal. Honestly, Koraidon looks like it came straight out of Monster Hunter. It is just so awesome. Miraidon, on the other hand, looks like a serpent, one that floats with the help of two rocket-propelled engines. It is basically a mecha serpent. It even has its, I guess, eyebrows projected like holograms, with a cool electric effect. And its torso also glows and pulsates like a holographic light. Now their typing is currently unknown, but based on their design, it is possible to speculate. I think that both of them could be dragon type given their reptilian appearance. Most of the legendary Pokemon that are version mascots are dual type Pokemon, so Koraidon and Miraidon are likely dual typed as well. Koraidon looks like it is either a fire type Pokemon or a ground type Pokemon. Rock or fighting are also possible. While Miraidon looks like it is either an electric type Pokemon or a steel type Pokemon. Ghost and Dark could also be possible. Now maybe they are not dragon types at all, and instead they will have two of the other types I mentioned. They could also have just one type, though I doubt this. In any case, they have the potential to have some interesting type combinations. Their names are also interesting, because Mirai means future, which is fitting for a mechanized serpent, while Korai means ancient or time-honored or from time immemorial, which does suit Koraidon, who is not only not robotic like its counterpart, but it also looks like a Pokemon that has stuck to tradition, one that has been around for ages, and it carries on its storied history in its appearance, which is that of a regal and majestic natural creature. There seems to be a theme going on with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that relates to the past and the future. This theme is apparent in the legendary Pokemon, of course, but it is also apparent in what I will discuss next. Also, supposedly these two legendary Pokemon will be rideable, but not in the traditional sense, since supposedly they will transform into vehicles, Power Ranger style. I can definitely see this being a reality since Koraidon has a wheel sticking out of its torso, and its two horns look like the handles on a bike. While Miraidon of course already has rockets, so it can certainly turn into a hovering futuristic bike. The spikes protruding from its shoulders do look like the handles on a bike as well. It is also worth noting on this front that both Pokemon have Raido in their names, which means ride. This idea of vehicle legendary Pokemon is definitely wild and it should be fun. But yeah, not much more to say about the two legendary Pokemon. They both look absolutely insane and I honestly don't know which one I like the best. Please let me know in the comments down below which one you like the best. Moving on, I wanted to talk about the regional professors for these games. And yes, I said professors, because for the first time ever, we actually get two professors from the get-go in these games. One for Pokemon Scarlet and one for Pokemon Violet. So they are version exclusive, which adds an extra incentive to pick one version over the other. Pokemon Scarlet has Professor Sada, and Pokemon Violet has Professor Turo. Now these two have caused quite a commotion in the community, a positive one mind you. I have already seen dozens of memes and fan art about these two, and I am sure that this will continue to happen pre and post release. But I will not get into any of that. Now what I find the most interesting about these two professors is their names and their designs. Professor Sada looks like she came straight out of the Stone Age. From her more ragged and wilder looking lab coat to the bones that adorn her necklace, her design draws clear inspiration from ancient times. Even her name alludes to the past. Sada likely comes from the Spanish word pasada. Now this word does not specifically mean past, as in past, future, and present, which is what I have seen many articles say. Instead, pasada means mostly pass, as in solo estoy de pasada, I am just passing by or through, or me dijo de pasada que no viajaría, she told me in passing that she would not travel. But it can mean past as well, like in la campaña pasada, in the past campaign. In this instance, it is basically the female version of pasado, which is past. So while pasada does not always mean past, it can be used as such depending on the context, namely when you are referring to female nouns, pronouns, etc. Hence why it is used as the basis for the name of the female professor, instead of pasado. Now Professor Turo on the other hand is clearly the professor you would see when you wake up in a lab after being frozen or asleep for 1000 years. He looks like a scientist from a utopia hundreds of years into the future, and his name alludes to this. Turo likely comes from futuro, which means future. Now the reason why their names are based on Spanish words is that the new region in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet seems to be based on Spain and Portugal. So like I stated earlier when talking about the legendary Pokemon, Scarlet and Violet have a past and a future theme going on. My guess is that one of the following scenarios is at play. First, Pokemon Scarlet might be set in the past, or rather in the present, as in it is set in or around the same era or time period as previous generations, while Pokemon Violet is set in the future. They are both set in the same region, but in two different time periods, which would probably have huge effects on what we see and experience. While this scenario seems plausible, it means that we would get two significantly different games, which would be very cool, yes, and it would mean that for once, getting both versions might be the only way to fully experience the generation. But it would also be very ambitious, and thus difficult to do. The second scenario is that time travel is a huge part of the story. So Professor Sada and the Koraidon are indeed from ancient times, and they traveled forward in time to the present. In this context, pasada has a double meaning, because she is just de pasada or passing by / through the present, while Professor Turo and Miraidon are from the future, and they traveled back in time. This scenario might be the most likely one, since it means that each game is set in the same time period and region, so everything looks very similar. It's just that one game will have an ancient aesthetic with characters that come from the past, while the other game will have a futuristic aesthetic with characters that hail from the future. Regardless of which scenario is chosen, I love anything that has to do with time travel. So I am already very much looking forward to seeing what these two games have in store for us. Next, I wanted to talk about Pokemon, both old and new. First, I want to start fittingly with the starter Pokemon, Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxly. Now these three were of course revealed back in February, but this is the first time that I get to talk about them, so I will share my thoughts on them here. Sprigatito immediately spoke to me when I first saw it. I was like, this is the one I will pick. Cats and felines in general are always very cute when small, and very cool when big. So Sprigatito is adorable, and when it evolves it should be awesome. I also love how it has gatito in its name, which means kitty. However, then I remembered what happened with Litten. I felt the exact same way about Litten when I first saw it, but I was skeptical because of the trend they had starting with Tepig's line, that the fire-type starter always had to end up evolving into a two-legged Pokemon. I cannot tell you how disappointed I was when I saw Braixen for the first time, because I wanted Fennekin to evolve into Cubimon basically. So I prayed that for once they would abandon this trend with Litten's line. But then I was disappointed yet again when I saw Torracat, since I had an idea of what would come after, which is why I ultimately picked Rowlet as my starter for Pokemon Moon. So now I am afraid that Sprigatito will suffer the same fate as Fennekin and Litten, which is a sentiment many people in the community also have. Please don't do this to us again. Let Sprigatito remain a four-legged Pokemon until the end. Now I am not completely afraid, mind you, since in the end, Incineroar did grow on me, and I ended up liking it more than Decidueye, so I will just wait to see what happens. But for now, Sprigatito is my favorite and the one that I will pick. Next we get to Fuecoco. Now I will be honest, when I first saw Fuecoco I was not impressed. I thought, this one looks kind of silly. It's cute, yeah, but not something I would pick. But after a while I grew to love Fuecoco, since it has the same energy that Ash's Dracovish has. It is just a goofy, lovable, endearing, funny, and adorable Pokemon that you just can't help but love. Which is why Fuecoco is my second favorite and my reserve choice should Sprigatito crash and burn as feared. I honestly have big hopes for Fuecoco, since in my experience, many of the starters that I think have the least cool or adorable design of the generation tended to have the coolest final form. Here's hoping for a massive fire-breathing dragon-like crocodile. Also, I love Fuecoco's name, since it is a combination of fuego, which means fire, and cocodrilo, which means crocodile. Finally, we get to Quaxly, which is my least favorite of the three, but not because it looks bad. I actually really like Quaxly's design a lot, but it just can't compete with Sprigatito and Fuecoco, especially since its name is not as creative. The best part of Quaxly is, of course, its immaculate hairstyle. It's like a duckling took hairstyle lessons from Johnny Bravo. The way it fixes its hairstyle with water in the trailer is so cool. Definitely a stylish Pokemon, so it's difficult not to like it. Moving on, I want to talk about the new Generation 9 Pokemon shown in this trailer. First, we see this adorable little electric mouse. Its name is Pawmi, and it is classified as the mouse Pokemon. So this is clearly the Pikachu of this generation. You know, the regional electric rodent, like Morpeko, Dedenne, Emolga, etc. And like most of them, Pawmi is a pure electric type Pokemon. Pawmi can have either static or natural cure as its ability. Static is of course an ability Pikachu can have, and a handy ability to have in certain situations. But natural cure is the more interesting one, since it gives Pawmi the ability to function as a pivot by using Volt Switch, which gives us some good potential for competitive battles. Next, we get to the Pokemon that has already captured the hearts of many fans, Lechonk, which is this adorable and very round little pig. I love that its name is a combination of Lechon and chunk. Lechon means a whole pig that is roasted on a spit, that is. So when you think about it, it is kind of morbid to name a Pokemon based on a pig after this word. Now Lechonk is a pure normal type Pokemon. Combine this with the fact that it was revealed so early, and I think that it is safe to assume that Lechonk is probably the Rattata of this generation, meaning the early game normal type Pokemon that evolves only once and at a fairly low level. Said Pokemon is also found near the start of the regional dex, usually close to the regional bird. So Pokemon like Sentret, Zigzagoon, Bidoof, etc. If Lechonk is indeed part of this group, then it is definitely my favorite of the bunch, and hopefully its evolution is just as good. They can really go two routes with the evolution, the Emboar route or the Mamoswine route. The latter is the one that I prefer. As for abilities, Lechonk can have Gluttony, which is a fitting ability for a Pokemon based on a pig to have, and it is an ability that one of its brethren, Skwobbit, can also have. More interesting though is Lechonk's other ability, Aroma Veil, which will allow Lechonk to be great at supporting its teammates. Also, this is a rare ability since currently only 4 other Pokemon can have it. Finally, for the new Pokemon is Smoliv, which is a grass and a normal type Pokemon, which is, as its classification suggests, a green olive. It is a very cute Pokemon and judging by its expression, it seems to be a crybaby like Sobble. As for its abilities, only one has been confirmed thus far, which is Early Bird, an ability that is common and unspectacular. It's also ironic that a Pokemon like Smoliv has such an ability. Finally, for the Pokemon section, I do want to go over all the Pokemon that appear in the trailer, meaning that they are confirmed to appear in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So these Pokemon are, in order of appearance, Pikachu, Fletchling, Flaffy, Shuto, Larvitar, Bagon, Venonat, Colossal, Toxapex, Shelder, at least I think so, Cryogonal, Gengar, Lurantis, and the Talonflame. I don't think that they have confirmed if Scarlet and Violet will also have a smaller national dex, like Sword and Shield, though they did say prior to the release of Sword and Shield that going forward, not every Pokemon would make their way to new games. If they do indeed cut down the Pokédex again, then it is important to point out which all the Pokemon will be returning. So that's it for the really big reveals, but there are a few other things I wanted to discuss. First, the trailer introduces another new character, Nemona, who seems to be one of the rivals of the new games, since she is seen battling the player character. She's also the one that uses Pawmi in the trailer. Nemona does not look like a main rival to me, but she could be. Next, a man in the trailer says that the power of science is amazing. Okay, Clement. He then initiates the new 4-player co-op mode, which allows players to explore together various locations in the region. They can also battle and trade Pokemon, the latter of which is shown in the trailer. This looks like a ton of fun. Hopefully there are a lot of things to do in the open world, like random events and the boss Pokemon like the Alpha Pokemon from Legends Arceus. Next, they do show what seem to be gyms, one of them likely being a fire-type gym, while another looks like a ground-type gym. Though they have not announced if these games will have gyms. But this seems to be the case, or at least, they will have something similar. Next, they do show the new design of the Pokemon Center/Pokemarts, which are now out in the wild, instead of being in a town or city. And they are smaller. My first thought was, hey, they have drive-thru at the Pokemon Centers now. But this is more like the Pokemon Centers are small gas stations on the side of the road that you can drive through for a quick refill before you continue on your journey. I guess that they did this to make the Pokemon Centers and the Pokemarts more convenient, since you can access them without needing to fast travel or fly to a town or city. There can be more of them and they can be out in the wild. Since these games are supposed to be all about open world exploration, being able to heal your Pokemon or buy what you need from just about anywhere in the world is very handy. Finally, I just wanted to say that the graphics look better than they did in the first trailer. These games are shaping up to have better graphics than Legends Arceus and Sword and Shield, which is how it should be. Also, it seems like these games will very much be like Legends Arceus when it comes to exploration, catching Pokemon, and combat, which is very good, though the battle system seems to be more in line with the traditional one we know so well. But that's everything I have for you in this video. This trailer revealed some very exciting things, and I absolutely cannot wait to play Pokemon Scarlet and Violet when they release later this year. Speaking of which, the release date was confirmed by this trailer to be November 18. So mark your calendars. Now before I let you go, I do wanted to say that when the first trailer dropped for these games, I did wanted to make a video on it, because the reveal of the Generation 9 games was of course something very exhilarating. But I also wanted to make a video on the first trailer because it would allow me to make a video on the Pokemon games for a change. In my outro, I always say that I love making videos on both the Pokemon anime and the Pokemon games. But the truth is, I only make videos on the anime, since in the past, my videos on the games never performed very well, which discouraged me from making more, which is unfortunate because I love the games just as much as I love the anime, and I wanted this channel to be about Pokemon in general, not just about the anime. So I saw the release of the first trailer for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet as a chance to finally make another video on the games, one that would hopefully do good because of the hype for the new games. But I was still hesitant, which is why I even asked in a video if you, my viewers and the subscribers, would like to see me cover the first trailer. Some did request that I do this, which is why I was going to make said video, but unfortunately I could not find the time to make the video, since I was behind on my episode reviews for Pokemon Journeys. And by the time I found some time to make the video, the trailer was already old news. So now that I did have the time and that there is a new trailer to discuss, meaning that the subject is trending again, I seized the opportunity to finally make another video on the games. Hopefully this video does well so that I can continue to cover the Pokemon games as well as the Pokemon anime. But that's the video, as always. Leave your own thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and would like to see more like it, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I love Pokemon and I love making videos on both the anime and the games. Also, please consider clicking the links on screen so that you can check out more videos like this right away. Thank you very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.